my gosh, it's been so long since we made a video. I'm so happy that we're actually
doing it.
They're actually doing it today. Anyway, so this is Praise. This is our beautiful, almost 10-pound baby. This video is about you.
She was born 9 pounds, 12 ounces.
9 pounds, 12 ounces.
All chubs. And now she's just about 18 pounds.
And she's 4 months old. So we had her all to ourselves. Today, we are going to be talking about our birth story. I had such a different experience with Ocean versus with Praise. 39 weeks and I was doing a bunch of things that would help, you know, naturally induce labor. I was constantly bouncing on my ball, went out for walks, went out for hikes, danced a lot. And if you're from the islands, you know that Tahitian and hula is one of the main dances that we do here. So I was busting it down, you guys, with my Tahitian hips. And it almost broke. We did everything that we could to get this little girl out on time. Naturally. So every Thursdays is when I turned a new week, and she decided to come at exactly 41 weeks. So a few days before that, I was just like, oh my gosh, they got my due date wrong. Like, the amount of anticipation was pretty crazy, not gonna lie. So we're gonna start from the day that it all happened, leading up to when my water broke. 40 weeks and 6 days, we went on a walk with our really good friends Kelsey and Kai, and we walked up like super steep hills in the back of Keolu and Kailua. And it's really good because the steeper you walk, the more your cervix opens up and softens, and it allows the baby's head to come down. So anyways, we just kept walking and walking, and I'm like having some major Braxton Hicks contractions on the way up and down. So after we walked, we had dinner with them, and basically just like a full night of having fun. Then we didn't get home till like 9 or 10ish. When we put Ocean down to sleep, we usually like to come out and have like us time. So that's exactly what we did. We put a movie on. Do you remember what the movie was?
Oh yeah, I was forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Don't watch it.
It's a stupid movie.
It was very stupid. Anyways, I ended up falling asleep in the middle of the movie. Ocean and I both woke up at the same time, but Ocean's in the room and he's crying and he walks out. And then I wake up to go pee, and then after I'm done peeing, I stood up, and then I was like, wait, there's more stuff like dripping out from me. And I was kind of wondering, like, is this my water, or was there just a little extra more pee that needed to come out? I wasn't sure. So then I walked to the room because Brian is trying to put Ocean back to sleep. And I peeked into the room and I was like, hon, I think my water is breaking. I'm not sure. I think it's breaking. And then he's like, what? I can't hear you. Because the AC.
The AC, and then we have like the sound machine on.
There's a lot of things going on,
so I'm like trying to read her lips, and I'm like,
and it's pitch black too in the room.
She's like, come here. And I'm like, no. I was like pointing to Ocean. I was like, he's not sleeping. I'm not leaving yet.
So putting our son down to sleep was more important than me saying that my water had broke. So I go into the tub because it's not stopping, but this time it wasn't like a huge gush. It was just like little trickles down the legs. With Ocean, I experienced like that huge gush. So that's kind of what I was expecting for this one. Anyways, so I'm in the tub and there's trickles coming down my legs, and I'm like, oh my god, it's not. I was like, oh my god, it's trickling down. I was like, oh my gosh, it's not stopping. All right, I'm gonna call my midwife. I'm gonna let her know that I'm pretty sure it's my water. So, and I'm like shaking because like the anticipation and the adrenaline is like going through my veins. I call her, and it's like 12:35-ish in the morning. She's like on the other end. She's like, hello. know if she was up the whole time. She's amazing. On the phone with her and I was like, I think my water is breaking. There's just a bunch of liquid flowing down my legs. But yeah, just wanted to let you know. And then she's like, okay, well, this is gonna sound crazy, but I just need you to go back and rest as much as you can. Call me if anything, like,
yeah, I think she said go to sleep.
Yeah, like try to go to sleep. Like, I know I'm not gonna sleep because when my water broke with Ocean, that was go time. So I kind of had the same feeling, like once my water breaks with her, then the same thing's gonna happen. I had maybe like 20 to 30 minutes of rest and calmness, and that's when we got to, like you guys saw in the video, that's when we got to talk with Ocean and get him ready to go to my mom's house. So the timing was actually really perfect that I wasn't contracting at that moment. Okay, Brian's gonna put her down to sleep and I'm just gonna finish whatever. So it was about 1 o'clock in the morning and that's when my contractions like started. It was pretty intense. I was able to talk through them. So I basically like labored by myself for a good 2 hours. All those contractions happened. My mom came to pick up Ocean and then Brian was getting the hot water ready for the birth tub. I was kind of just like, hurry up, honey. I need you. And then he's like, well, I'd rather get the water in the tub than miss out on that opportunity because we need you in that tub. And I was like, all right, I got it. I think that's where you see in the video where I'm kind of just like swaying by myself, and yeah, it was really good. It was really good. It was awesome. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. My contractions were really getting like pretty close together, and that's when I called Auntie Steph, who has been a super close family friend for a long time. Like, she knew me since I was like a really small toddler. Anyways, she got here around like 3:05 in the morning and she was helping me on the birth ball. She was massaging my back, she was massaging my shoulders, massaging my head, my feet. So it was really good that she came at that time because Brian was still doing the hot water for the birth tub, so she was able to care for me and be there for me in that moment, which is great. And then she was like, your contractions are really close together, they're getting stronger like each time, you need to call your midwife. And I was like, no, I don't think it's time yet, like we'll just keep going, see what happens. And she's like, Alyssa, you need to call your midwife, your contractions are like less than 5 minutes apart, you need to call your midwife, I'm not delivering this baby, Alyssa. And I was like, okay, fine. I called Pastor Mari. She lives like less than 5 minutes away from my house, so that was really awesome. So she comes over at 3:45, and I guess just by the way that I was contracting and the way I was laboring, she knew that things were progressing really quickly, so she stayed. Within that hour, she's like, okay, well, I called Sarah, which is my doula. Sarah comes, we're gonna go outside for a walk. And I was like, okay. And this is like almost 4 o'clock in the morning. Sarah comes, and then I was kind of just like, oh boy, Sarah's here. All right, let's see how serious she was about going on that walk.
So I had worked all day, didn't get home till late, so it was already like a long day.
Basically
our midwife,
an all-nighter.
Yeah, our midwife knew that, so she was like, Brian, I need you to get some rest because Alyssa's gonna need you. You know, when it's go time, you know, we need you to have some energy there for her. So she told me, doctor's orders, she said, you gotta go take a nap. We'll take it from here. Like, nah, I had a lot of adrenaline still like kind of kicking in at that time, so I was like, no, I'm good, I feel fine, like I'm not tired. Yeah. So then they were all getting ready, like putting their slippers on, getting ready to walk outside, and then that's when it like kind of hit me all at once. So I was like, I don't really feel like going on a walk right now, I'm pretty tired. So then I was like, yeah, maybe I will go lay down. And they were like, yeah, go for sure, like we said, we need to. So that's better, we got it.
Yeah,
there's 3 of us with her.
Yeah, I had like 3 of them walking with me. So in our apartment complex, we have to walk up like 3 flights of stairs just to get into our apartment. And my midwife said, okay, we're gonna walk down these stairs. She took me all the way down to the end of our street, which is a pretty decent walk, especially if you're in active labor.
Quarter mile, probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, like a quarter mile.
Yeah. So anyways, she's like, hey, we're gonna walk down these stairs, we're gonna walk down to the end of the stop sign, then we're gonna walk back, and then you're gonna walk back up the stairs. She had a rule. There's just one rule, and it was, if I get a contraction while we're walking, I'm not allowed to stop. And then I looked at her and I was like, okay. I'm glad that she told me not to stop during my walking, because that allowed me to focus more on the walking than my actual contractions. So it was kind of just like a mental mind game. It was really good. And I'm like walking on the side of the street, and I'm in my pareo and my nursing bra, I think. And there's like people on their way to work. Like they're driving to work and they're looking at me on the street and they're just like, is she okay? Like, what are these people doing to her? And you can just see me like, I'm holding my belly up and I'm just like, breathing through my contractions and walking. At the same time, it was so beautiful because on our way back to the apartment, there was this beautiful sunrise that was happening at the same time, and the song Promises by Maverick was playing, Maverick City. It was definitely just like a God moment. God was telling me he is there, he is with me, he is my strength, and I'm just like overwhelmed with emotions at this time. And so on our way back to the apartment, we get closer to the park, and then I start doing like curb steps.
Yeah.
And then we get to the stairs, which is by far my most favorite part.
What's your favorite?
So we get up to the stairs and she tells me that I have to skip every step and make sure I lunge into the second step and lunge for like 3 times back and forth to keep my pelvic and my hips open. Yeah, so I have to go back and forth like this on the steps. My lunges, all right, were like so deep on the stairs that my
your hoo-ha?
My hoo-ha touching the steps. If I could be like super real and honest right now, it was a really good stretch for my back and my legs too, because there's like everything was just tensing up, right? So finally get back into the apartment, and then that's when I go into the room to check on Brian, and that's when he's in fetal position with my pregnancy pillow. And he's like, oh, you look comfortable.
Oh, glad someone's resting.
I labor for maybe about another hour in the living room just with the girl. I was really like wanting something to eat. I barely have like 1 minute to grab anything, because like my contractions were happening like every minute or so. 1 minute I grabbed the blender and then I contract, and then I grabbed like some stuff for my smoothie, and then I was like, does anyone else want a smoothie? And I couldn't find the smoothie cup, like the blender cup. So then I'm like looking through all the cabinets, contraction, looking through all the cabinets, oh, contraction. I'm like, where is that smoothie cup? And I just wanted my smoothie. So I said, wake up, Brian. Wake Brian up, because I know he knows where it is. And then he pops out of bed, immediately finds the cup. And at this time, I'm kind of just like, can I go in the tub now? Can I go in the birth tub? It's time for me to go in the birth tub. So that first clip of me being in the tub, that was when I first got into the tub. You got in it
for the first time.
Yeah, and it was like heaven. And it was really good because my contractions weren't slowing down, but then it was getting really hot, and when I came out of the birth tub, my midwife said to go pee, then come back and we'll see what's happening. And so I probably had like about 5 contractions after I peed on the toilet, and by like my second contraction, my midwife was like, okay, Alyssa, you're gonna think I'm crazier, but this is what I need you to do, okay? And I was like, okay. She's like, all right, so for the next 3 contractions, I need you to lift up one leg onto your bathroom sink and then lean into that like a lunge, but also hold on to Brian at the same time so you don't fall.
And you're like, you expect me to put my foot way up on this counter? Because it's pretty high.
I was like, wait,
I mean,
someone's gonna have to help me then. So I did it. And one, it was a really good stretch, but I think that was like when my contractions were at like the most intense, and it was just happening like one after the other, one after the other. I come into the living room on the chair, this part, that's where I had this one contraction that like brought me to the ground. I thought I was gonna have her on the ground right there in the living room. That was pretty crazy.
That was like the pivotal moment when things really started to get serious.
Yeah,
because the other contractions, she was able to kind of like, you know, kind of just stop for a second, hold on, okay, it's done. But this one, like, literally collapsed her down to like holding the arm of the couch and fell to like her knees.
Yeah,
and was,
well,
like,
gently.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I felt
kind of
gently.
like curled up on the ground.
You want to say something to praise?
This is what your mama did for you, Praise. So you come in healthy and whole and beautiful. Bless you, Praise. Come on out. Good job, Mama.
That was like the first push that my body did by itself, and then that's how they knew that I was about to hit transition. Had like a few more contractions out here after that. Just like I could feel like my body pushing
like
itself,
moving on its own.
Yeah, oh man, it was nuts, but so awesome at the same time. As we're walking to the tub in the room,
it's like 2 steps.
It's like 2 steps away from.
It's like right in the
the
next
living room.
over.
Those contractions were super intense. I was like, "Hun," like trying to grasp onto him, but then he was like, he was looking at me like he didn't know what I wanted him to do. Make strong, and hold me. He's just like limp.
Well, earlier, you probably saw in the video, there was times where she was like wrapped around my neck and she was hanging on me. And that was cool, but I didn't know that that's what she wanted to get to, because she was like, she couldn't even lift her arms that high.
Yeah.
So she was grabbing my hands and it was low. It was like right here. She's like holding my hands and I'm just kind of like, this is weird. What do you want me to do here?
Make strong.
And then finally she like threw her arms up and grabbed me and like just gave me all her weight. And I was like, oh, okay.
And then Sarah and my midwife were looking at each other and was like, transition. She's transitioning. Finally get back into the tub. My body is just pushing by itself. And at this time it's probably like already, I think it's like 7 o'clock in the morning.
You must have been pretty dilated already too.
Oh yeah. She checked me and I was like about 9 to 10 centimeters already. So I was basically like
totally
pushing.
Ready.
Yeah. But it was so cool because my body was doing it by itself. Pastor Mari reminded me to just like surrender to my body and just trust my body, that my body knows exactly what it needs to do.
That part's crazy to me. Like, you get to experience it, but it makes sense because like the body is gonna do what it needs to do, like no matter what already. And it was, you could see that it was like pushing, and sometimes like your natural response, just because everything is like sore, you're gonna tense up, and that's like working against the push.
Yeah.
So surrendering is the best thing, if where you can like kind of just zen out and like relax all your muscles and just let the body do its thing.
I had like worship music going on in the background, but then I remember when my body started to like really push, I asked for some reggae music. I was like, wait, can we change the songs? Can I have some reggae music, please?
I think it's because you realized that like it was go time and you wanted to kind of get more like pumped up, and it was like really gentle worship music, which was, it was nice at the time, but you wanted to kind of like get psyched up.
Like, I'm ready to
let's do this.
Let's go. There was a moment where I literally felt like I was gonna die. Like
I think you said that
I
too.
did. I said it. I was looking at Sarah and I was like, I'm gonna die.
I'm dying.
I'm dying. It's funny to
She's
laugh.
like, no, you're not.
She's like, no, you're not. You're okay.
No,
Alyssa.
you're good.
You got this. And I was like, no.
Let me die. Just let me.
Do I have to switch to the phone camera?
Meanwhile, I'm sweating maybe the most I've ever sweat.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he got in the tub with me.
I was in there like the whole time.
I was pretty surprised because he doesn't like hot showers and this was very hot water. So I knew that he was gonna be dying too. He was in there for like an hour.
This was like an hour. Pastor Mari saw like all the sweat just like beating down my face and she was like, Sarah, can we get a nice cold rag for Dad over here? And I was just like, thanks.
Good sport, honey. Thank you. There was a moment where I was like, basically like I just let my whole body go and I just sunk into Brian's arms.
Pretty much, if I wasn't there, she would have just went underwater.
I would have went underwater. Like, I was so tired. I was so exhausted.
I was like just holding on, like trying to keep her head above the water.
Oh my gosh. It was like my chin and like everything
The
under
water was
that
like right up
like,
to here. You were like totally a champ though.
It was...
Because you weren't even like making all these crazy noises or anything. It was just kind of like, I don't know, having like an out-of-body experience
It was,
where you kind
definitely.
of just gave up and you're like, you could see in your face that you were just kind of like not even like all
Jesus,
there.
take the wheel.
And your body meanwhile is like still contracting and pushing baby out.
I don't even know what I was thinking in that moment other than I was dying. So her head finally came out, or it was like right there, and that's the ring of fire. And I felt like it was the longest, probably like 5-10 minutes of my life. She was just there because I didn't want to push her too quickly where I tore like super bad, because so it happened with Ocean and that was not a fun recovery.
It's crazy because Pastor Mari was just kind of like coaching you through it, where it's like, okay, yeah, push, got it right there. And she's like, okay, wait, hold it right there, hold it. And she's like, okay, breathe, push, hold, you know. It's like keeping the head right there so that it stretches everything out.
They're so good at their job.
Slowly, and it doesn't tear it.
Yeah. Yep.
It must have been like torture.
It was.
It's just right there,
Oh my
and you want to
gosh.
just like push the baby out and get it over with.
So finally, I get past the ring of fire and her head comes out, and I was like, oh, finally.
Big
Like,
relief.
it was a huge relief, but then I was like, oh crap, I still got her body left.
It's
Like,
just the
oh no. I was like, but it was cool because I got to feel her head, so that kind of gave me like more motivation to actually push her out.
When you pushed again, like a little bit, and the body like kind of started to push the body a little bit further out, she just went in there like super smoothly, got her finger under the cord and like
Oh yeah,
pulled it around the head.
I
and
think
it was like,
I think you can see it in the video, but it happens like super fast. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't even tell that she did that. So right when she came out, she kind of just like, yeah, like what you said, she scooped it over the neck and then she just brought her right on top of me. And my first words out of the womb, all praise.
Brace! He made me work!
She did.
It was so crazy.
She really did.
It was so gentle and like peaceful that it was like, it kind of took us by surprise. It was like too good to be true, because it wasn't like this big dramatic like kind of war like, yeah, like a battle moment where it's like boom, and then the baby comes out. It was kind of just like happening naturally, and then all of a sudden it was just like,
There she is.
boom, there she is.
She dropped like this fat kid on top of my
It was
chest,
so
and I
fat.
was like, are you
All
serious?
her arm little rolls.
Oh my gosh, I was not expecting that. I just felt like I was smaller than I was with Ocean because I actually took somewhat more care of myself during this pregnancy.
Yeah, as we were like checking your weight throughout the whole thing and everything. And
Yeah, like,
since
I
you
didn't
were
really gain much weight.
You were eating healthy and whatnot. We figured for sure Praise would be
Yeah,
smaller.
I thought she was like 8 pounds at most, maybe. This girl comes out 9 pounds, 12 ounces, with like what, a 14 centimeter size head or something,
Yeah.
and 16 wide shoulders. Holy
big.
camole!
She was bigger than Ocean in every like measurement. He was big too. He was 9'7".
9'7". Big dang, got a thing for huge babies. It is very genetic though. My mom's side of the family all has like really big babies. So yeah, go ahead. You share your like perspective, things you're feeling, any encouragement you have.
Yeah. I don't know. I think everyone's different, and some people, I don't know, if you're freaked out by blood or you're just like, you feel so unfamiliar with like birth and you don't want to get in the way. Some people, I feel like, will naturally just kind of feel like, you know, let me just step on the sidelines and stay out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to gauge better than anyone else like what your wife needs, what she needs out of you. I think for us, I knew that like I wanted to be as supportive as I could and be as helpful as I could be, and I knew that you would appreciate that and needed that, and I didn't want you to feel like you were going through it alone, even though it's like your body doing the contracting and the birth itself. That was really cool. Like our birth team and the birth class that we take, they give you so much ways that you can be helpful, with certain like massage positions for the lower back, and just, you know, like with her hanging around my neck and kind of swaying and stuff like that. We definitely had a lot of things to help us and kind of had a game plan for that. Don't be scared, just jump in there and be as helpful as you can. And it's not really about you, it's about mom, you know, giving birth. So don't make it about you and be like, oh, I'm freaked out by blood and stuff. I can't be in the room, like you're on your own or anything like that. Man up.
There
basically.
wasn't
Man up.
Yeah.
And be the support that your wife needs.
Amen. Amen. There wasn't a moment that whole time where I felt like I was alone.
But even just little things like being aware and sensitive to just like getting water, making sure that she has water.
Oh my gosh,
the
so
little
important.
things that, you know, she's got enough to think about and like things happening. So if you can just eliminate all the little things, already assume that she's gonna get hot. And like I had some wet rags in the freezer that were frozen, and I would just get them and, you know, put them on her head or on her neck because I knew it would cool her down. Don't wait for her to tell you to get water. Just make sure there's like water available and giving it to her.
And snacks.
Because she might not even remember to like
No.
eat or drink. So
No.
you want to make sure that you're, you know, bringing water up to her and giving her snacks and stuff like that.
So altogether, I would say my birth experience was about 7 hours. 7 hours altogether. It was 6 hours of active labor and then 1 hour of pushing. So altogether, it was about 7 hours. And it went by so smoothly too. Like after everything was done, I was kind of just like in shock. Like, wait a second. Did all that just really happen?
At home too. That
Like
was
I
the
still
part
think
that was
about
like-
it and I'm like freaking out. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, we actually had a home birth.
I know, because we had like obviously never done this before.
Nope.
And you know what you're hoping for, and you're hoping like, oh yeah, you know, like I've seen all these birth videos and they seem so magical where it's just so peaceful and beautiful, and you kind of just assume like, oh yeah, if we're gonna have a home birth, automatically it's gonna be like that.
Yeah. Everybody has
but
their
everyone's
own
different.
Yeah, everybody has their own experiences when it comes to a home birth, which is why I think it is so important for the pregnant mama to prepare very well from the moment you find out you're pregnant to the end and even afterwards. So that's gonna lead me into my next video on if you guys are interested, 10 tips on how to have a successful home birth. So if you guys are interested in that, stay tuned.
I'm gonna be making a channel, home births for dads. I'm just
Hey,
kidding.
you should. You should. Mock doulas.
Chill, I don't actually want to have a YouTube channel.
Anyway, we're very passionate about the home birth and just like how our bodies are meant to labor and deliver naturally. I never thought that I could do this, but we're stronger than we think, and that we stronger than we know.
The biggest kind of like eye-opener and learning experience and kind of perspective change that I think made this birth so magical and like beautiful was recognizing that, yeah, it's a physical thing. It's like a physical thing that your body does, but God's the one orchestrating it, and he's the one who made our bodies and made the woman's body
Oh my
and
gosh.
equipped it,
Yeah.
you know, the way that it is so that it can birth and grow a baby inside the womb. Leaning in on that, and then also just trying to learn as much as you can about like giving your body what it needs, so that way things can kind of just happen naturally and not needing to be so like distracted by unnecessary like stressful things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you know and you're equipped with how to be prepared and what to expect and have all this knowledge going into the birth, then you can just kind of solely focus on the spiritual aspect and
There's a lot
focus
of
on the worship, and
there's a lot of preparation that needs to be done mentally, physically, emotionally, like everything. Spiritually for sure.
so
That
lots
is it.
more videos to come for sure.
That is it. Thank you guys so much for listening to our birth story in details. If you guys made it this far, you're the real ones. We love you guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye.
Just a long shot of us waving.